Hey everyone. So I wanted to get this out before the Thanksgiving holiday here in the States, but that may have been overly ambitious. So here we are after the fact and trying out something a little bit different. So something I've been trying to get better at for years and mostly failing is developing a solid writing habit. I float in and out of consistency with journaling, notebooks, so on and so forth. So my hope in getting my newsletter back off the ground, for example, is that it'll give me a little bit of accountability to get things out of my head and onto the page, be it physical or digital. One morning the other week, I started the day off with a Morning Pages session. Now, I won't unpack what Morning Pages is here, but I will link to it in the description. It's been a while since I've done that, and I find I get at least one good insight out of these writings that really gets me thinking. Here's the line that really stood out to me this time around. Maybe fear and insecurity never go away. You just change how you package them up and take them with you into the world. So let that sink in for a minute. What if no matter how successful, rich, or influential one becomes, there's always fear, doubt, and insecurity that creeps in? And what if that's okay? Maybe these deep-rooted hangups just change and evolve, and the best of us simply find more constructive ways to use them to our benefit. In the spirit of leading by example, and since I've been in the film industry for over a decade, let's start there. Now, Roger Deakins is arguably one of the greatest cinematographers of all time, having shot multiple films for the Coen brothers, The Shawshank Redemption, and Blade Runner 2049, just to name a few. He's got it all figured out, right? Well, he's been quoted on multiple occasions as struggling with imposter syndrome. Here's a little story. Recently, my buddy and past guest on No Set Path, Travis Weirs, sat down with Roger and his wife, James Deakins, on the Cine Kit List podcast, where Roger was quoted as saying, "You doubt yourself every day. I do." Sir Roger, yes, he's a British knight, is at the pinnacle of his craft, constantly in demand, and has achieved legendary status in the industry that many would aspire to. By all accounts, he should have none of the insecurities that you and I struggle with, right? Wrong. Maybe Sir Roger has continued to excel and lend some of the most cornerstone films of the last several decades because he's made self-doubt work for him, keeping him humble and focused on only those things that are within his control. Then there's my friend and LA-based composer Zach Hady. Zach's a beast. He's composed music for major studios, has a thriving YouTube channel, built a full-on boot camp course for other aspiring composers, and has started mentoring a select group of students at a very high level. Zach and I are in a mastermind group together, and even though on paper he's crushing it, I've seen firsthand how he's had to repackage those insecurities around letting go of composing additional music, which is writing music for a project under another lead composer, and turn that into something positive. Yeah, it was extra money, but it also came with extra challenges and was causing other parts of his business to suffer. Once he got comfortable with being uncomfortable, though, new paths and opportunities presented themselves, and now he's flourishing. So onto some personal things. Just before going freelance, I was holding down a part-time job at an Apple store in New York City, trying to figure out life's next steps. I knew I wanted to make a change, get back to pursuing a creative career, but wasn't sure what that looked like. On my off days, I taught myself to shoot and edit video and had made a personal project or two that I sent around to a few friends and connections. Off the back of that, I was offered a gig as an assistant editor on a big project for 3 months. The catch? I had to be available for full-time hours during the duration of the project. If I wanted to make a change, I needed to quit my job and let go of a consistent paycheck. Was I afraid to take that leap? You bet. Fast forward to today, though, and I've been self-employed in some way, shape, or form for over a decade. This decision led to a full-on career in filmmaking that's presented opportunities I never would have imagined and expanded my horizons both creatively and as an entrepreneur. Do I have it all figured out? No way, absolutely not. Every day is full of some degree of questioning and self-doubt, but I put one foot in front of the other and make my way. I never thought I would have a company, a studio, or a podcast, but they've all materialized because I've been able to assuage my fears, if only temporarily. I'm fairly certain that the mind of most creative entrepreneurs is a minefield of second guessing, so I don't think I'm special or the exception here. Actually, you know what? Here's the perfect example on how to summarize all of this. Having children. It's the ideal analog to what I'm trying to illustrate here. You'll never feel completely ready to be a parent. Take it from me, there's lots to be insecure about. There's never a perfect time when life will be ideal, and you'll never have the mental or emotional space to fully say, yes, okay, I'm ready. But at some point, you have to take the plunge and take things as they come. I did, and it's easily been the most rewarding, if not challenging, experience of my entire life. So to button this all up, fear, self-doubt, and insecurity, they're real things that have the potential to cripple even the most talented and ambitious among us. Sometimes you just need to take a leap of faith into the unknown, like Indiana Jones from the Lion's Head in The Last Crusade. Deep cut. Because you never know what amazing things may be waiting for you on the other side of your hangups. I'll leave you with this. Lean into the uncomfortable. It's often how you know that you're on the right track. I have, in fact, spun up my email newsletter again. This is essentially the audio-video version of that. But one thing you get in the email newsletter that I don't do here is you get some hot takes and things from the week that I found interesting and maybe help support what I'm talking about here. So if you're interested in those, click the link in the description to sign up. I'd love to have you. And with that, thanks for tuning in.